Hi, I'm Tanya Bertolone, certified wellness coach and creator of the Divine Design Weight Loss Program. And today we are making my favorite breakfast, Saucy Eggs. Saucy Eggs is inspired by an Italian dish called eggs in purgatory. And it essentially has eggs kind of floating around in sauce. Well, I've taken that and I've added my ground meat. I'm going to start with 1 pound of ground bison and 1 pound of ground venison. Now you could use ground beef, you could use ground elk. This is just what I have today. I personally love this company, Force of Nature, if you didn't already know that. These pack, so this is for 1 serving, which is 4 ounces, 24 grams of protein. This one is 26 grams of protein for 4 ounces. So these really pack a punch as far as protein is concerned. I just start by opening each packet of meat, and I like to expose just the top. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So just kind of like that, because then I can season it, and then I flip it into the pan and season the other side. That makes it really easy. I'm going to season these really simply with just some olive oil and salt. And I do that because I keep my ground meat for the week in a container, and then depending on what I feel like eating, I divvy it out. So I don't like to season it too much on the first cook, just because if I want it for other things, I want to be able to add those flavors then. So we'll do olive oil on each side here, and then a good healthy pinch of salt on both. And then my pan is feeling warm. I'm gonna add just a little olive oil to the pan. Remember, this is lean meat, so we can add in some extra fat. Now that I have them in the pan, I can season the other side. I'm not gonna do olive oil on that side. I'll just do some salt liberally. And then I'll just let that sit for just a little minute, kind of brown up, and then I'll start to break it apart. We've got some browning happening, so I'm just gonna start breaking up some of this meat. Let's move on to the sauce. Now I do have a whole separate video where I just do my homemade sauce and my pesto, so you could watch that, or you can watch right now, because I'm gonna do it right now. The secret to this quick sauce that I do is I make a pesto first. So it's very basil, very lemon forward, which I just think goes so well with the tomato sauce. And I also start with the pesto because I reserve some, because I like to put it on the top or just have it for an extra condiment to put on top of burgers or whatever it is that I might be eating. So I start by taking a really good olive oil. This one is Bono. It's Sicilian. You want an Italian olive oil if you can. This one's organic. Product of Italy, and you're looking for a glass container that is dark, that's going to keep the olive oil nice and fresh. Start by using a 1/4 cup of this good olive oil in the blender. I have my 1/4 cup of olive oil in my blender. Now I'm going to add a lemon. I'm going to add an entire lemon zest and then an entire juice of a lemon. When I zest, I have a 1, 2, 3 approach. Listen. Did you hear it? 1, 2, 3. And I only do that because then it starts getting to the white part of the rind, and that's bitter. I'm gonna do the whole thing. Oh, that one sounded like 2. 1, 2. Ooh, maybe I do 2. No, I do 3. 2 to 3. Make sure you scrape. Did you see how I did that? Make sure you scrape the back of your plane or your zester, because you get all this yummy stuff and you don't want to waste that. And now I will just cut my lemon in half, and I'm gonna juice the whole thing right in the blender. So I went and picked this beautiful basil from my garden. So the way I like to do basil like this from the garden is I just start at the top and I pull it down. Isn't that cool? Look at that. I would say to use between 1 cup and 2 cups of basil. Okay, I have my olive oil in here, I have lemon zest, I have the juice of a whole lemon, I have about 2 cups or so of my basil. Now I'm gonna season it. I'm gonna go heavily with salt and heavily with garlic powder. If you have garlic cloves, you can certainly use garlic cloves. I would use 1 to 2 depending on how much garlic you like. I think fresh garlic tends to be really strong, so I just tend to always use the garlic powder. into the blender the pesto goes. Look at this gorgeousness. Can you see how beautiful? It's so bright and so green. I'm gonna reserve about half of this so I can use it as like a condiment throughout the week. About half, right? I'm using Cento in a glass jar so that the flavor of the tomatoes is not compromised by the metal that's in a can. So I just have the Cento passata, and I'm gonna put this right in. Because my mother and my grandmother taught me not to waste, I'm gonna put a little bit of water, shake it up, and add it to there. Just a little bit. We're gonna do another layer of flavoring, so we're gonna do another pinch of salt and another bit of garlic. And now we're gonna zhuzh it up. I like to store my sauce in a big bowl for the week. So I just put it in here and it's ready to go for the week. And I can add it to this saucy eggs. I can do another recipe if my daughter wants something during the week. I've got fresh homemade marinara with way less sugar and none of the other garbage added. It's so easy. We gotta make sure we get all the good stuff. No wasties. My meat is all cooked through, so I'm gonna take out 4 ounces for my breakfast. And remember, you only have to do this once a week, right? So I make all my meat and then I put it in my container and I have it for the whole week. I make my sauce and I have it for the whole week. So each morning I'm not prepping all this meat and prepping all this sauce. I'm just taking it out of the fridge and warming it through. Because today I'm making it fresh, I'm gonna divvy out 4 ounces of the meat and I'm gonna put it in a smaller pan so I can combine it with the other ingredients. I have my scale. Okay, now I have my 4 ounces of meat. I'm gonna just add it to my smaller pan. Once the 4 ounces of meat is heated through, I do 10 scoops, 10 spoonfuls on top with the sauce. You could do more, you could do less. That's so good. It's bright with the tomato, but then the pesto and the olive oil come through. It's so good. I like to wait until the sauce heats all the way through and I see the middle boil a little bit, bubble up a little bit, because then I'm gonna add the eggs. And I like the sauce to be all warmed through before I add my eggs in. All right, I've got some bubbles in the middle here, so I know my sauce is warmed all the way through. So now I'm gonna add my eggs. I'm gonna do 3 eggs. You could do more or less. And I just crack them right into the sauce and the meat. I'll add just a little salt on the top and then you cover it. I have it on like a medium low and we wait. 3 eggs are gonna give me about 18 grams of protein and the 4 ounces of the venison and bison mix is gonna give me another 24. So I've got 24, 30, about 36 grams of protein in this meal right here for breakfast. I'm looking for my eggs to be just gently cooked all the way over the top. These look actually perfect. I will show you. If you like your eggs cooked all the way through, you can keep it going until they're kind of hard boiled in there. That tastes delicious also. I like mine just a little softer, so when I crack into them, they kind of run all over the dish and act as a sauce. Let me show you how beautiful this is. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? All right, and then I just put it right in my bowl. I don't mind if the eggs crack because that's what I like to do anyway. Just to crack them all over. And I'm gonna take my reserve pesto and I just like to kind of drizzle it over the top and make it look gorgeous. I forgot to taste that before. It's lemony and then the freshness from the basil comes through and then you've got that beautiful olive oil that's just so delicious. All right, here's my dish. Doesn't that look pretty? So what I like to do is I like to come in here and crack all those eggs so then the yolks combine with my sauce and make a delicious yumminess. That has to cool down. While my saucy eggs are cooling down so I can take a bite of them, I'm gonna take my reserve meat and I'm just gonna put it into my glass container here and then I have it for the week and I can just take it out, divvy it out. It's so fast and easy that way. Look! I'm ready for the week. Should I try it now? It's still pretty steamy. It's so comforting. I think that's why I like to have this for breakfast every day. I'm Italian and my grandmother used to make sauce on Sundays. My mom made it on Sundays, and it just reminds me of comfort food on a Sunday. And then when you add the eggs in there, it adds this creaminess, plus you're kicking up your protein. You get the richness from the meat, and then of course the freshness from that pesto that's in the sauce, but also drizzled on top. It's perfection. I am not dieting when I eat this food. This is how I lost over 40 pounds every single morning. I eat this every single morning. Of course I have my Pellegrino because I can't live without it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me that thumbs up. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Tanya Bertolone Weight Loss Coach. I do all kinds of different recipes. I teach little mini lessons there. You can find out all the good things. Just give me a like, follow, share, all that good stuff. And I'll see you later. I'll use a half a cup and I'll start by putting that in my blender. No, I'll start. Look at that sunspot. I might have to shut my blinds. Can I go here? I think I need to go shut my blinds. Did that help? Okay, I think that helped. It's such a good ground meat. Oh, hallelujah. Can I get an amen? I tell you what, this ain't pretty. Heavy.